Hi, I'm Steffanie Rivers, and I want justice for Breonna Taylor because the police officers involved showed reckless disregard for her life and the lives of her neighbors.
Her. So you're saying she essentially died on the floor right there?
Second that she got shot, she was.
Family, did the city of Birmingham, did anybody say, did the church, did anybody say there's more to?
Hello and welcome to the video version of my journal. I'm Steffanie Rivers. Come on into the conversation. Come on in, kings and queens, and welcome to the conversation. You're watching my journal and it's on several platforms, including YouTube and Facebook Live and Twitter and LinkedIn. So on whatever platform you're watching, we want to welcome you to the conversation. We have a special guest today, but I always want to start with thanking my subscribers for being with us and joining. And if you are new to the conversation, we want you to listen in because I'm sure there's something that you're going to like and want to share and subscribe so that when I post new videos, you will be the first to know. So with so many social issues that negatively affect the Black community, it can be hard to agree on the best strategy for us to address those issues. Some people subscribe to a more subtle, non-confrontational strategy, but that's not the new Black Panther Party way of getting things done. So for them, it's about speaking up and speaking out. And we have with us national spokesperson for the new Black Panther Party for self-defense. He is Mikhail Muhammad. He's our guest today, and we want to welcome you to the show. Thanks so much for your time. How's your day going?
Swell and well, lovely and bubbly, sister.
Well, thanks for being here. We want to just talk to you today about the agenda of the new Black Panther Party and how, what your objective is and what your plans are for building the party, as well as your mission for the Black community. Now, there are a number of organizations whose mission is to get justice for those who suffer injustices. A lot of those, many of those have been around for half a century at least, and they subscribe to a non-confrontational method. Then there was the original Black Panther Party, founded in 1966, because they considered some of those traditional civil rights organizations that promoted integration as failures because of the social injustices that Black people had to endure. Now, is the new Black Panther Party a rebirth of the first Black Panther Party, or something different altogether?
We are a continuation of the original Panther Party, but with some variations. We do not believe in Marxism. We believe in Pan-Africanism. We believe in Black nationalism. We believe in a nation, a land, laws, government, self-defense for our own people.
So then, your personal commitment to the new Black Panther Party has been known and noted since as early as 2012, when George Zimmerman shot and killed Trayvon Martin, and the new Black Panther Party's it was more of a confrontational strategy, whereby there was a bounty put on Zimmerman's head, and a lot of people thought that was extreme. Can you just talk to us about why you felt like, why the new Black Panther Party felt like that was something that needed to be done instead of the traditional nonviolent marching?
Well, sister, all we have to do is study the past mistakes of others. We are thankful and grateful to God and ancestors for the sacrifices of the civil rights, but today is outdated, is outmoded, and therefore we're dealing with a different beast today. Back in 2012, on February the 26th, Trayvon was walking to the store. He was followed on the way back by Zimmerman. He had not committed any crime. Trayvon was murdered, and that was only a 4 or 5 page paragraph. And what happened, my former chief of staff, Kojo Kerala, who's incarcerated because of that situation, he was targeted after that, notified me that there was a case in Sanford, Florida that we need to take a look at. And so we investigated. We went down for several days, for 2 weeks, unnoticed by mainstream media. We didn't announce anything. Attorney General, the national chairman of the new Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, Attorney Malik Shabazz, based out of Washington, D.C., is the one who studied the laws of Florida and said, let's put the $10,000 reward and bounty for the arrest of George Zimmerman. And therefore, the other traditional civil rights leaders were talking about a 1 million man writing campaign, a petition, and we know that that wasn't going to get any justice. So we investigated, and right after, the city notified myself that they were handling the situation, but Zimmerman had not been arrested. So therefore, up under the consultation of Attorney General Malik Shabazz, we went back down there. We stated that Zimmerman to be arrested. There was plenty of opposition even before the $10,000 reward for Zimmerman. There were many other Black organizations that were civil rights groups that were fighting for publicity and attention. We wasn't down there for publicity attention. We was there to force this government to arrest Zimmerman and charge him with murder. And we believe that we accomplished that. Had it not been for our organization, Zimmerman would not have even been arrested. They had already made up their minds. Trayvon was dead like 3 weeks before we got involved. And there was no motion. And so therefore we had to take an extreme position. We live in an extreme situation. We're the victims and targets of terrorism by law enforcement, terrorism by private white citizens, terrorism by other ethnic groups that come here and participate. So we have a divine right, a constitutional right, a God-given right to defend and protect what's in the best interest of Black people throughout America and throughout the world. So we have that right, and therefore we have never backed down from that.
So mainstream media labels the new Black Panther Party as a separatist group, and in fact, you did an interview with Anderson Cooper on CNN. So I'm gonna play that, and then we'll go from there. Hold on, let me.
Okay.
If I can bring it in.
All right.
Violence, and you responded by saying an eye for an eye, a life for a life. Trayvon Martin's father today said, we don't believe in an eye for an eye. Aren't you directly going against the wishes of Trayvon Martin's family?
We love Trayvon's father, but we are military. We're here to support that family. We're here to make them do their job. We will support Trayvon's family, Anderson, but we are military. Every nation has a military. Every nation has a defense system. So we're going to support this family, but we want the United States government to do their job. But if y'all would do the job, we wouldn't be here today.
But you are directly going against what Trayvon Martin's father says he believes in. The family does not want you involved in this.
Well, then, again, Anderson, you need to tell the State Department of Justice to arrest this guy. Tell the city of Sanford to arrest this guy.
All right, so now, it seems that, and that was only one of the interviews that you did where, the mainstream media was saying, you were going against what the family wants. And sometimes, my question is, even as Trayvon's family, I don't personally know if they didn't want your help, but according to, them, they didn't want your help. Why do you think it's that some people are apprehensive about being affiliated with the new Black Panther Party or with an organization that has methods that are more extreme, even if it seems like it's going to help?
Well, we got word that Trayvon's family had took some hush money from the city of Sanford, Florida, that they had already been given a couple of $100,000. So therefore, the new Black Panther Party coming in was going to create mass problems for the Martin's family, and it did that. Sabrina Fulton, the mother of the late, great Trayvon Martin, went on national TV and condemned myself and condemned the new Black Panther Party for our involvement and for the $10,000 reward for the capture and arrest of Zimmerman. But only 4 years later, when I was in Miami doing a separate event, it was the weekend of Trayvon Martin's birthday. They had a march and a rally for Trayvon to honor him. My mother reached out to attorney Malik Shabazz and the late chairman Hashim Nzinga, who has returned back to the ancestors, asked them, would we come to this event? And I said no, because when we were fighting and putting our life and freedom on the line, her son's father, Tracy Martin, condemned us. She condemned us, and others, including Ben Crump, who we believe is a chump, and his law firm partner condemned the participation and involvement of the new Black Panther Party. So you can't put us down and pick us up when there's no outcry. So therefore, our position is the same today. We stand on the $10,000 reward for the capture of Zimmerman and for justice for Zimmerman, but the mother was chasing money, the father was chasing money, and if you look now at their movement since 2012, they have had bit roles in movies, they have been given access to national, international media. The mother has even attempted to run for, state government, and she has not been successful. She compromised the legacy of Trayvon, chasing money and chasing inclusion with white America. And you'll never get justice like that. We know that the white man is a bully and he does not respect cowards and Negroes and others who turn the other cheek. So therefore, we have a divine constitutional and civil right and a God-given right to advocate for self-defense, advocate for the protection of Black people all throughout America and throughout the world.
Well, you hit on something that I want to ask about, and that's that, even if the strategy of some traditional organizations is not the same as yours, we can probably agree that there has been some progress made through non-confrontational means. But have those successes of the civil rights movements of the 50s and 60s, have they led to us being not as unified as we could be or should be, you know, in our community? Because now, you know, we can work where we want to work, get paid more. We don't have to stick together as we did in the 50s and 60s. And, you know, we no longer, our children are no longer, you know, we don't send them to certain colleges and universities. Our goal is to now go to Harvard and Yale, where before we couldn't get in, but now that we can, that seems like our goal. So do you think that integration has hurt our advancement as a group?
Let the record state it and let history record itself. Yes, we have lost a lot of progress. If we go back and study the civil rights era, the Black Power movement, and other groups like the Nation of Islam, the great late Martin Luther King said he regret trying to integrate into a burning house. Now, if Dr. King made this statement, and we look 50 plus years later, look at the condition of Black America. We're more divided than ever before. We are more integrated, imitated, and associated with white supremacy. A lot of Black people hate themselves and hate anybody that represent their Black culture. We have traditional Black politicians who are about inclusion, integration. And so when we look at the condition and when we look at the advantages of integration, yes, we got some certain freedoms and opportunities, but if you look around now, they're taking all that back. And so the great late Martin Luther King was uniting with the Nation of Islam and Malcolm X, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the Black Panthers. And he went strictly to the white government of America and said, if you don't accommodate us, we're going to unite with these. So the strategy was not to allow Dr. King to unite with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You had the greatest organizer in America with the greatest orator in America, Dr. King. So if you put those two together, Dr. King and Honorable Elijah Muhammad, America understood that it would be over for them because the Black community would turn inward. We would start building and doing for self because the Honorable late but great Marcus Mosiah Garvey gave us a blueprint. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us an economic blueprint. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad wasn't interested in converting everyone to Muslim. He was interested in building a Black nation, building Black communities, building our own schools, hospitals, banks, institutions, manufacturing plants, and defending and protecting what's in the best interest of Black people. Every nation that comes here does the same thing, but when we start talking about doing for self, and building for self, now all of a sudden we're the reverse racists all of a sudden. But every other nationality that shows up in America is directed to the Black community. So I ask you, look around, Sister Steffanie. Do you see the progress on a whole scale level for Black America? Or do you see individual successes? And we acknowledge the individual successes, but it has not translated into the elevation on a collective level for Black people in America.
I agree that in fact, when you said that that you think that Trayvon's parents took some money, that's not the first time that I've heard that when Black people are killed by cops and we speak out about it, and then their families will come out and say, we don't want that, we want peace. Then it turns out that in order for them to get the big settlement that the family is in line to get, they are advised that they should call for peace, or that they shouldn't speak their mind. When if your family was unjustly shot and killed and done wrong, especially by the cops who are paid by us taxpayers to protect and serve, it seems like, I mean, why wouldn't you be angry? I would be angry. So for me to then stand up and say, you know what, I just want peace, it doesn't even sound logical,
It
but
does not.
things, it makes, then it turns out, in order for them to be in line for that big payoff, they are being coerced and forced to say things and do
That's
things
right.
that are
That's
not natural.
Sister Steffanie, I'm thankful that you brought that point up, because we have seen this recurrently with every Black family whose loved one has been victimized by law enforcement, come out quickly and say, we want peace. Look at the recent situation, Patrick Lyoya
Mm-hmm.
from the Democratic country of the Congo. Not even
Yeah.
days after the father about, we want peace, all we want is the officer to be arrested. So long as we continue to take a non-passive role, you're not going to see any changes by the conduct of law enforcement. And let me say this, we believe, as the Bible says, for eye, a life, a two for two. And so if you kill mine, we have to take yours away. We can no longer walk away and keep taking the hits. White America must understand there's a new generation, and eventually we're going to get it together, and eventually we're going to come together. And that is the fear of us uniting, because they feel the retaliation. So if white America feels retaliation, why don't we do the prudent thing, which is separation? Give Black people 4 or 5 states in this country, since they don't want to do justice by us. They don't want to give us equality. They don't want to give us reparations. Therefore, it's time for separation. It's like a man and his wife. If they don't get along and they cannot live together in peace and harmony, and they affects the peace of others, they go to court. So what is wrong with the court of America saying it's time to give Black people reparations? We have fought, bled, and died. We have suffered. We have sacrificed for this country. We have not got nothing. But as you look at Ukraine, America is going broke financially to bring Ukrainians into the country, give them housing, give them jobs, give them economics. But what about the Black man and woman who has been here over collective 400 plus years? We have not seen that day yet. We don't want welfare. We don't want food stamp. We don't want handout. We want the reparations that is just for us, like any other nation that America has went in and brutalized and murdered the citizens and took over the government. Eventually, America gives reparations to those nations. So there's no nation on the face of the planet Earth, 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth, that has suffered more than the Black Americans over here in the hells and wilderness of North America.
So what is it that, most people don't become that convicted or that invested in a movement unless they have a personal experience? What was your personal experience that made you turn to the new Black Panther Party versus, another group that is, less demonstrative? What
Yes.
happened that made you say, I need to do something different?
Well, in the 1960s, my daddy was a Nation Islam member. In the year of 1973, he was fired from his job as a supervisor at the United Snakes Post Office because of his religious practice. So there was no locally in the city of Jacksonville that would take my father's case. So my dad, being intelligent man he was, presented himself, and he petitioned the courts, and they reviewed the case, and the firing of my father a substantial settlement. And therefore, as you know, his children became targets. In the year 1977, I was at a middle school, and prior to being in the in the pool, and they found me 8 minutes. When them found me, my heart had stopped beating. Angel gave me CPR and brought me back. So
okay,
targeted because of my dad's.
I apologize. Your signal is not very strong right now. So I know that you said when you were in a middle school, something happened and somebody gave you CPR. So can you start from there, because I missed that part. So you were in middle school and something happened. Start right there.
Do you hear me loud and clear?
Oh yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
I was in middle school in the 7th grade, and I was hit and knocked out and thrown in the pool. The gym coach came back to the pool looking for her notepad. You know how she write the name down of all the students that attend gym class? And her pad was by the fence, and she saw my body floating. And the first 2 coaches attempted CPR, and it wasn't successful, but Miss Holloway, my angel in flesh, gave me CPR and brought me back. I was rushed to the hospital, and I lay in coma for 3 months. And during that time, doctors were telling my parents there's no hope for him. If he comes back, he's going to be a vegetable. But we know the power of God. Am I correct? God has the power to restore all things. So my father, being a faithful Muslim and a praying Muslim, where others in the family had given the hope that I would come back, not going to take him off the life support. And about 3 weeks later, I came back. And God has been, and so therefore I was thrust into the liberation movement because of my dad's activism and his fight with the government. So it was already predicted by my mother and father that in my 20s I would become involved in the movement. And so therefore I joined the Nation of Islam, which gave me my foundation and my development. And then I moved on to the new Black Panther Party, which is strictly a Black nationalist movement and organization.
Okay, and now we have some video of you, doing your work with in the community in Georgia. You met with Ahmaud Arbery's sister and his family, and tell us, about that, because there was an instance where during the trial of the 2 people, the father and son who shot and killed Ahmaud Arbery, their defense attorney said something like, "We don't want these pastors coming down here praying," or something. And then all of a sudden, all the pastors, Black pastors across the country, showed up. But then you were there as well. How did you end up being a part of that scene in Georgia during the trial, and you had a chance to meet the family?
Well, Brunswick is in the backyard of Jacksonville, and Jacksonville is in the backyard of Brunswick. It's about 40 miles from Jacksonville.
Oh, okay.
Therefore, we met the auntie of Trayvon Martin, not Trayvon, forgive me, Ahmaud Arbery, and she asked me would we come down and advocate on his behalf and provide security, because there were threats by white supremacists. See, here's the other thing that the Black community don't understand. When we step in, it's because it has gotten out of hand. Therefore, Black people were fearful to go to Brunswick and support and advocate for the family of Ahmaud Arbery. So we stepped in to provide security by the direction and instruction of our national chairman and attorney general, Malik Zula Shabazz. And so you had all these white supremacist groups threatening, but when we showed up, none of them came on the scene. They stayed out of sight, out of sound, nowhere to be found on the ground. And therefore, the police department had to step away from a distance and respect that we are armed, we are loaded, and we are here to protect what's in the best interest of Black people, because we have a divine constitution and civil right to what demonstrate and advocate for the family of Ahmaud Arbery. It shouldn't even take us to come in, but that's our job. We are paramilitary, and we do not make any apologies for such. And at this day and time, we are growing because our youth are looking toward a nationalist movement that is a voice for our community. We love our people. We respect all people, and we believe in peace when possible, but violence when necessary. Long as they're peaceful with me, I don't have a problem with them speaking their mind. But if they come with the violence, we have to stand up like men and women and defend and fight what's in the best interest of Black America. Black people are known to fight and kill each other on a daily basis, but when it comes to the Caucasians, we find every excuse you can find in a book to justify turning the other cheek and being cowards. And we no longer cannot follow that line of thought, sister.
And you know what? When during the January 6th at the Capitol, when those Capitol policemen said, you know, we feared for our lives, yet not a single shot was fired. Well, there was one or two, but overall, it seemed like the law enforcement had such restraint when it came to white people with being armed and threatening their lives. But an unarmed Black man, you will shoot him in a minute.
In a quick second.
You know, right. I'm like, where is the rationale for you to now be on the stand testifying before Congress, crying your eyes out, saying that you fear for your life when you had a weapon at the ready, but you didn't use it, but you will readily shoot an unarmed Black person? I just can't, you know, I'm like, where is the rationale for that?
Well, I can share with you why they're like that. The white man police officer is the brother, and the white woman police officer is the sister of the white supremacists, and therefore they're not going to kill their own. We don't have any record of that in the annals and histories of America. But when you look around at us, they shoot at the blink of an eye. They shoot saying they were fearful of theirs. And so we're saying today, law enforcement is all over America are honeycombed with white supremacists, sympathizers inside law enforcement, inside military. They're not here to defend and protect Black Americans. They're here for the purpose of defending and protecting what's in the best interest of white America. So they were trained to kill us at the blink of an eye, and they are doing a well after thinking that one day white
your signal is breaking up again. It's breaking up again. So hopefully I'm going to ask you this question and hopefully your signal will come back. But now it seems like, you know, in the past year or since the pandemic, in early 2020, that more Black women and Black men are now purchasing firearms, and they're getting trained and getting their license to carry. Why do you think that is? Is that a signal that Black people in America are becoming more comfortable with exercising their Second Amendment rights? Why do you think that?
Yes, they are. They're becoming more educated and knowing their rights and the laws of this land. And we encourage our people to learn the laws of this land and how it applies to them and others. As you looked at the case in New York where the Asians were being killed, right? Did you see the government pass a bill law for them, a hate crime bill law? But yet we're still begging for hate crime laws and accommodations. But we're more interested in assimilating into the government of the United States. As you look at the Supreme Court nominee, Ketanji Brown Jackson, am I correct? That's her name?
Yes.
When she was asked certain questions, she knew nothing about the black culture, the black history, and the black struggle. So do we really believe she's going to be an advocate for us laying in the bed of the enemy's son, the oppressor's son? So we have to get out of that mindset of thinking that if we put a Negro face in white place and white space, that we're going to get some justice. It's not going to happen, because even before they nominated her, she had to give in to certain concessions in order to be a nominee candidate. And so she already conceded that she is not going to be a voice for Black America. So we are losing progress with this pursuit of interracial integration and accommodations, when we need to be putting the energy into building and developing and investing and pooling our resources and developing businesses and schools where we control the educational dynamic of our children. Our children are losing interest in the miseducation of America. Only the best ones will stick around, but the masses are losing interest. So by the time they're 13 and 14, they have already lost interest.
So I don't know what it is. Your signal is going out again. So you are near the window, and here's what I want to ask you though. What role does the Black woman play in the movement, according to the new Black Panther Party?
The Black woman has always been side by side, hand by hand with the Black man ever since we can study the great annals of history. And so therefore, it's imperative that she steps in and steps up and be part of the solution, because today the Black man cannot fight this battle by himself. He needs the support of the Black woman. The Black woman is the greatest and the strongest, the wisest, and the most beautiful woman on the face of the planet Earth. There are others, but she is the first. So when she
It seems every
sister.
yes,
Sister,
yeah,
you know this is being monitored by the FBI. I have to tell you. Yeah.
So when I ask you certain questions, you think that's the reason why your signal is not working? Okay, okay, let me ask you about
Okay.
membership. What are you doing? What is the new Black Panther Party doing to grow its membership? I heard about the new Black Panther Party just a few weeks ago from a friend of mine that I was talking to. His name is Babu Amawalu.
Yes, that's our brother. Leads his organization. He is a great leader, a great trainer of self-defense. And so we are arm in arm, hands in hands with brother Omawale Babu. Omawale, yes.
Right. So I understand that you do have a chapter at on a college campus. What types of membership events do you have, or are you trying to, how do you choose who you allow to be a member? Is that, what's your goal as far as growing the new Black Panther Party?
The new Black Panther Party believe in the liberation of Black people, Black man, Black woman, Black boy, Black girl. We believe in the wellness of the Black family. We believe that the Black man and woman must unite. And so therefore, it's imperative that we come together, sister. So there's leadership in the new Black Panther Party where the women, sexist group, not a religious.
Oh, it's not. We're not understanding you. We see. Okay. I don't know. Every time I start to talk, then it gets better. When you're talking, the signal goes out. Okay.
Well,
So I know that you guys had an event in Georgia a few weekends ago. What was going on? It was a multi-generational event, and his signal just dropped out all the way. So maybe he'll try to come back in. But essentially, the new Black Panther Party, they were in, I think it was held in Atlanta, Georgia, a few weeks ago. It was called the Black Power Hip Hop Showcase. And the objective was to essentially allow a new generation of people to showcase their talents and how they present themselves. And so I wanted to ask him about that as we were closing up. And according to Minister Mikhail Muhammad, the national spokesperson of the new Black Panther Party, when you start asking certain questions, then, you know, the signal, like he said, is being monitored. I don't know if it's the weather. I don't know if it's really that, but at any rate, he dropped out. We'll give him a few more minutes. If you haven't already, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that when I post new videos, you will be the first to know. We've been talking to Minister Mikhail Muhammad, national spokesperson of the new Black Panther Party. And as he said, that you know, this is a continuation of the original Black Panther Party for self-defense, and he's back. So we're going to have you to come back in, and essentially, I was asking you if you want to finish your answer about the about building your membership, and then I was asking you about the event that you had in Atlanta a few weekends ago, the Black Power Hip Hop Showcase. Oh, he's frozen. Okay, let me text him right fast and let him know he's frozen. And so it seems like his signal was getting worse, but essentially, I just wanted to, as I said, I only learned about the new Black Panther Party a few weeks ago, and so I wanted to have him on or someone to speak on the new Black Panther Party. So I'm glad we had a chance to have him on so that we could get more information. I just like to share information, especially like Minister Muhammad is saying, when you start talking about being pro-Black and building our community, some people have a problem with that. They can do things, they can say things and do things all day long when it's for other people. But when it comes to us building our community, that's when there's a problem. And so I'm trying to get back in, but it's just a great screen. So at any rate, maybe this is going all the way out. Okay, are we taking right there? Okay, he's not it's not. So we're going to the live stream. If you have any questions on you want to know more about the new Black Party, you can contact me and I will forward your information. You can reach me at or you can follow me on Instagram council. But anyway, if you want to know more, you can contact me and I will forward you information. To find out more about the things that I care about, you can go to the research of life.